Why is the thumbnail different on mobile? It it shouldn't be. But at the same time, I need to check if things are actually fine. Does this sound good? It does. Okay. I was worried I had to like change, or I had to like, because I'm told often that my mic will sound deeper than what it's supposed to be. Could have just used that. I'm loading something up and just seeing if it will actually hold up. I need to pop this up in case. What do you mean Twitch, Megadong? What Twitch? to wait for this stuff. Why is this still up? I literally turned it off. Like, but then at the same time, I read things that turning this feature off does nothing. I'm just reading up on this stuff. I need to check the yeah, see, it's kind of dumb on YouTube's behalf, honestly, of just not really removing that feature when we literally told them to. And also, I just don't like how it's organized. It's just always top commenters rather than like just, or it's not by like live chat, because I literally just sorted it by live chat and it switched it back to top chat. I mean, it's done loading, but like, is there anything, just for the sake of this one, is there anything that should be brought up, or like anything of interest that people think should be discussed before we attempt to try to figure something, or try to figure something out to do? Try to find something. What is it? Try to find something to do within the next 2 hours. Also, I mean, I think the one thing I should be asking is what. I seriously need to look into what the thumbnail is coming out as, because I think it's. What the heck? So, my tablet has the right thumbnail, but my phone doesn't. My phone has last month's thumbnail for some reason, and the tablet has the right one. So for whoever shows up here, we're going to be asking you what thumbnail came into you. Like you, Dark Barcode Warrior. What thumbnail came up for you? I want to see if this is working. No, we got the wrong monitor. There. Kind of cool. We can't edit that during stream. That's that's just great. um, yeah, okay, Dark Barcode Warrior. You came in with the correct thumbnail. I don't know why my phone is showing last month's thumbnail, but you came in with bean sprouts. Good. That's how it's supposed to come up as. But I think the way this works is that you're not supposed to be able to. Oops, I keep wanting to click on the wrong things. I think I think OBS doesn't like it when you. Yeah, so these are disabled, which is not good because then I messed up. So oops, keep opening the wrong window. Megadong, what do you think? What's the sin of the month? Read the title, Megadong. Now I have to quickly try to duplicate. Can I not duplicate during stream? Because I messed up. Oh, now it allows me to crop? Okay, there. Alright. like, I'm not gonna go into it yet, but like, literally, like, there's all the thumbnails have a correlation. And plus, it's from a show that no one's gonna take the time to watch. I had to get that It took me like 2 weeks to get that episode just for that frame. Whoops, that shouldn't have been clicked. Oh wait, never mind. It's fine for me to click it because we're not capturing that. Because I was like, oh no, I'm showing the wrong monitor, but it depends, Megadong. It all depends. I mean, like, I thought it was either bean sprouts or shrimp. Why is that going off? I need to test the audio first. Let's not make it maxed out, because then that's gonna blast your ears. I can technically play this. Just don't. I mean, I'm still gonna be safe and not play too much of it. But none of you guys are gonna guess the show until I point out the second half of it. Let's put it right here. I had it muted. We'll play it again. I had to watch this to find it. As the monitor blacked out. But like, look at this. Look at how the smoke is done. Like, you can clearly tell it's just a visual effect. This is obviously not actual smoke. Look at the smoke. It's clearly not there. Like, the food is being steamed, but like, they decided to add this, like, they decided to add visual effects to it. To like, I guess the show is kind of weird. Like, from the first 6 episodes I've seen, this show is weird in terms of how it composes itself. Cause like, for some reason, like, they don't let so they'll play scenes for the sake of it. I feel like it's just more so then they can break up the longer scenes. Because as you previously seen, like, this entire conversation is really long. This is a really long conversation. They felt the need to intercut this scene in just to continue the previous scene. And like, this show really likes using transitions. Because as you can see from here, why is it still saying it's... Yeah, it's 11 minutes in. Can you see how long these sections take? These sections are like 2 minutes, and this middle section was only like 40 seconds. It's something. Yeah, this took 2 minutes. And then this just took another minute. And then we're back here for another 2 minutes. I won't show the villain portion because that actually has heavy spoilers in regards to the movie. But yeah, then what? This is the final. This is the final attack. She continues on for the next episode. But yeah, I think it was before he transformed, his car got destroyed. I don't remember when his car got destroyed, but or I think it was that part. Yeah, the next, because it got re-released last year, but in HD. Because Star Ray bombed. So you have to keep in mind, so like, okay, it blocked out, but so yeah, the titular hero doesn't debut until episode 5 or 6. Megadong, we'll call off your bluff. we'll prove to you that you actually liked it. Well, unfortunately, we are gonna have to go off of the like. Well, okay. Megadong, how much episodes does Armor Hero Star Ray have? Yeah, then you're lying. So you're saying it has 5 episodes in total? Yeah, you failed. Whoops. I think this is the wrong episode, actually. Yeah. Let me mute this. Well, Megadong, let me ask you, what was the crossover with? Well, of course we will hear that from you. You probably do. You probably are a buyer of NFTs. We're now to watch Garo. Just trying to find something to call off your bluff. At the same time, I don't want to. I don't want to watch it through these cuts. That's horrible. But then again, you did say that apparently Starray only had 5 episodes. So yeah, that, and we will show you the 5 episodes then. This is so loud. a Blu-ray, you think like this is fine to say because it's literally been discredited, but you literally think China still sells physical media? Why are 3 hidden? I mean, I can kind of believe that, but at the same time, not really. Let me check for proof. um hmm. We are going to deny your answer. Yeah, it was this episode. They won't allow that. Like, I mean, it's just like there's no point because they're not popular in the Chinese demographic, so they won't. That's not something they will be asking for. Because, like, I mean, that's not a that's not out of a possibility because they will do something like that. But obviously, it'll be like someone from like the first series or XT because they're basically gonna start scrubbing Star Ray from existence. But here we can look at that. We're gonna call off your bluff.
一会儿再跟你算账。
切！
还不赶快躲开！亮卡，炼药铠甲，火星耀能，赤焰合体。铠甲合体。废物，过来！找死！血火珠，快回正道吧！打他！星将，听令！
上天下地，无所不行。
Clean up this part.
啊！呀！节令！闪开！
把召唤技给我。
接着，
停药，
药能连接，
带费力攻吧，亮塔。停药铠甲，
木星药能，
Like, isn't that a nice jump cut?
霹雳，
合体，
铠甲合体，
亮
闪停追，
闪停爆追，欧了。
Like, honestly, watching this, you can't really, like, I mean, it's more like it's shot nice.
那就一起解决，
Why is it-
霹雳，
合体，
铠甲合体，
亮
闪停追，
Like, this show is
闪
definitely
停爆
confident.
追，欧了。 那就一起解决。
And it's like, what happened to the music?
火口蛇，
AI generated.
亮堂，
赤火双棍，
见识赤火双棍的厉害吧！
It's just,
哼
yeah. The editing choices.
一火蛇，
Cause
你没事
like,
吧？
why is there music
来吧，
tell this entire?
了你！停药，
药能连接，
带费力攻吧，亮塔，停药铠甲，
木星药能，霹雳，
合体，
铠甲合体，
亮
闪停追，
Kind of stop.
闪停爆追，欧了！
Like, you still have like 10 minutes, like 2 minutes in a fight club. So why is it,
闪停爆，
why is it kind of dead?
随想即行，
凯能加速，
闪停爆追，欧了！
什么东西？
看我的！
Like, yeah, you're right, Megadong, but you know, to China that doesn't matter. It's like, it's just more of like, you know, it's just more like, I guess in the stance of like, I guess in terms of like how people view like selecting like a high-end actor for like a role. Because if it's like a like female actress or whatever, like obviously people are gonna be like, well, yeah, like she's pretty, but like she clearly obviously doesn't have the like, she clearly didn't like have the chops to like actually fulfill the role. They only clearly chose her because of her appearance and such. That's basically that's basically kind of the like perception of like the last 3 years of Armor Hero, of like, oh well, these suits look cool, but like the shows are bad and such. Or like, you know, it's like these shows are diabolically bad and such. It's just like, I mean, at the same time though, it's just like China is a really, I don't want to say pretentious, because that's not, that's really bad way of wording it, but it's just like from what I've been like reading, it's just like the fan base, like they are super dedicated, and yet like they would like just disarray or like just eviscerate things.
什么东西？
看我的！
日月，药太帅了
Like,！basically again,
毁灭，
it's just under the qualms of like, you know, in a realistic sense, it's like,
必
did this entire sequence, this entire
天地
sequence
炼日月，
could have
红
been
云
done
霄，
烈
live
求界，
action.
鬼面断绝，虚假务必。
Like, obviously, people are like, why couldn't they just gotten the suits in a green screen room, put them on strings, and actually choreograph this entire thing, rather than just doing it on an computer? That's basically like just what this kind of stems from, like just stuff like that. Of just like, but in my case, it's just more of like, again, like some of the editing choices are kind of weird, and like I'm not gonna be too hard about like the visual effects, because honestly, it's just like it's kind of stuff that it's like basically kind of like what I can get away with,
反腾追，
because like I don't
闪
mind
停爆追，欧了。
I don't mind the cheap nature of the effects. I get that it kind of throws you off in terms of like of just kind of like assimilating yourself within the world and such. But it's like, I don't know. I think as long as it actually conveys as long as it tries to convey the idea, I think that's fine. Like, I get it. It's like, this is a high budgeted show, so I get that the quality obviously should be up. Or the quality should, like, obviously match the should like match the quality of like cinema, or not cinema quality, but like it should at least be feasible and like passable of like, you know, so then for viewers that are watching, they can actually be like, oh wow, like there was actually heart into like this little detail of the effect. Like they actually went through the detail of like shading this model and such, or like they actually went through the effort of making this like very seamless and such. But like obviously you can kind of tell that the editing job on Star Ray was just very like, oh well, we're severely crunching on time, so we need to like get this, like at least we need to get this passed and such. Like, I don't want to say there was like urgency, but it was more of like, oh shoot, like like you can also say there could, but because again, it's allegedly rumored that the visual effects for Star Ray were done by college students. So like, you know, like honestly, I can even say like those college students have done more than me. I still have yet to actually have done like CG stuff, like, cause I can't imagine that being really easy. So it's just like, I personally can't really be too harsh about the like visual effects, because again, I think it's just because it's like it's better than what I could do. Like it is just funny watching the shine cards and just clearly seeing that they're just PNG files of like the actual cards. But like obviously it's not right. Obviously the only thing to like rightfully call out for the show or at that show is just the usage, or their usage of generative AI and such, because like what I said earlier, the opening and allegedly the background music are all AI generations, or like all generative AI products and such. I think only the ending theme was actually like an actual piece like done by people, but like the opening and the music were like not, I don't think for like the summoners, but like the opening and like the background musics are all generative AI. And again, as I said in the review, the toy initially had an AI voice for the Kaija Hiti announcement, but then the second version they changed it to an actual person saying it. But yeah, I don't have any other series that can, cuz I'm not gonna like, cuz like obviously it's not gonna help convey the point, but like obviously I'm not gonna just put out a action or like a fight scene from like Captor or Hunter and be like, yeah, this is what they considered bad. But like personally, I don't really, I don't actually really know the reasons why Captor and Hunter are like heavily like scrutinized. I just assume it's just due to the plot, and I assume that's also the case with Star Ray. But obviously, it doesn't help that the quality just isn't on par either. So like Star Ray obviously just doesn't really have like, for a series that obviously was supposed to commemorate the 15th anniversary of the franchise. Yeah, obviously a lot of people were very disappointed and such. And like because of that, the Armor Hero franchise is allegedly dormant once again, because of, you know, the fans' reception, or the fans, you know, already given their piece about its existence. Which basically, like, we're gonna go back to just the first two shows and maybe Lava actually being the only 2 or 3 series actually gain merch, and maybe Star Ray, but no one should be surprised if Star Ray gets treated like Hunter and just kind of like dissipate from existence. Even though it's like they had a card gimmick, they fumbled a card gimmick somehow. But yeah. Let me, oops. Megadong, China, like the Chinese fan base will not allow it to come back, or they would rather have it come. Well, the thing is that the fans obviously will keep it alive because the fans do a lot of good fan projects and such. And like obviously Armor Hero is still going to get promoted, but only like what I mean is that Armor Hero is kind of facing the same issues as Power Rangers, where Power Rangers is only living through the glory years of MMPR. Armor Hero is only living through, like, I think reasonably so though. Armor Hero is only living through the first series in XT, because I think more of XT, because XT, I think from what I know, the first series, I watched the first series and its movie, but I think most people just kind of acknowledge that they watched the first series because it was their childhood, but XT is the series that like everyone is like, you have to watch XT and such. Like XT is like probably the one that the fan base will like constantly recommend for you to watch. It's kind of essential to like Power Rangers of like, you gotta watch Time Force, you gotta watch SPD, You have to watch RPM. Like, it's kind of like that. But in the sake of Armor Hero, that's XT. And then I think most people will. I feel like Lava is kind of on that spectrum too, but you don't really see as much. Like, Lava is like, oh, like, I think most people are like, well, it's a good show, but it's not like, I think it's just more, because, like, I think the way I've heard it described, like, the company that obviously produces Armor Hero, their favorite series is Lava. But I think that's just because Lava sold well for them. So, I think toy sale wise, Lava did really well at. But I don't know about show wise, like, obviously it is still particularly fond over. It's just the latter half of the franchise gets completely, like, eviscerated in terms of reception and such, because Captor and Hunter, well, I think basically the fan base was just always like, well, Captor's now the newest low for the franchise. Now Hunter's the newest low of the franchise. Now Star Ray's the newest low of the franchise. It's like what everyone says about Reiwa Kamen Rider. Where it's every Reiwa series sucks except for Saber. So, it's kind of like that, I'll say. I have another hour to go. How behind is this? Oh, it's not behind. Why did it do that then? But mostly it's just like, like, yeah, obviously it's just I like reasonably so. It's just the concept of, like, yeah, like, I think it's just more like toy sales can only do so much, I guess, in the sense of these shows and such, because, like, obviously, like, they have to keep pushing toys for the first series in XT because everyone likes those shows. And then, like, maybe Lava will get something, but I think the last thing I've seen was a re-release on the Tsunami or the Tetra Summoner. But then, like, Captor and Hunter don't have that luxury of actually being able to be kept up in relevance because, everyone wants to erase their. They still obviously need to acknowledge them because they're entries, but they kind of are aware of, like, oh, these are the ones that didn't make us money. So, like, they just don't bother with doing as much with them. And then it's like, potentially Star Ray is gonna have that fate. Probably starting by next year, because it was always kind of rumored of, like, oh, hey, like, because the show kind of alluded to it, like, or because we were originally told about it, of just like, oh, there's going to be 2 seasons of this show, because I think just because of financing, they have to break the shows up into 2 seasons, because that's exactly what happened with Hunter. So people were expecting that for Star Ray, or not expecting, it was it was more just like, it's gonna happen. But obviously, because of how poorly it was overall received, just how sabotaged the post-production the show was, or how sabotaged the post-production of the show was, it's really obvious that we're not getting that season 2 because Oldie is actually trying to develop their own tokusatsu studio without the on their own and without the cooperation with their production company, which is why the franchise is most likely going to be dormant in terms of like actual like official media that isn't like side commercials or like collaborations or like fan projects and such, because the co-owners for Armor Hero Hero Box obviously are Hero Box are the co-owners of Armor Hero because of the fact that they are the ones that actually developed the majority of the like half of like the material from the first show, because Hero Box originally only did Dragon Man, but or like Oldie did Dragon Man, and then Hero Box or like someone from Hero Box, or I think what eventually became Hero Box, decided, oh well, we should probably capitalize more than just the one suit, because obviously back then, obviously like the first series wasn't obviously, I think it was described as like a Kamen Rider and Metal Hero or hybrid adaptation and such. But then they were like, oh, we should probably make more armors to like sell more toys for and such. So they did, using the basis of Dragon Man. So that's why the owners of the Armor Hero franchise itself is both Oldie and Hero Box. And like, just I think it's just been speculated, just unfortunately for the last 3 shows, Hero Box has just kind of not really been doing their part, and it really shows for Star Ray and such. But excuse me. Other than that, obviously I do hope that the like I have to say this, but like my Star Ray videos obviously were filmed at the beginning of last month. So obviously we did not have the news of, yeah, this franchise is dormant once again because of the poor quality they keep putting out and such. Not because of, or because it's the fault of the production company, not the fans. The fans are the ones that are demanding more and such. Or the fans are the ones that are in the right. But cuz like at the time I was recording the reviews, that was at the time of the China Expo convention, and like all they showed off was just more things for XT. There was like, I think one thing for like, there was like a few things for Star Ray. They showed a figure off for Ray Jade, which is pretty cool. But like, it's like, you know, it's like, oh, they're not gonna touch up on that, like, and so it's just like, oh, cool, like Ray Jade we've seen her design, like, I mean, like, we saw Apex Ray Thunder way before Ray Jade, but we knew about Ray Jade sounds before Apex Ray Thunder. which I think is funny. But like, yeah, like obviously, because again, there's design leaks or like patents for the Toys for Star Ray out there, and the Apex Ray Thunder card holder. Obviously, I think obviously it was intended to be both. It was intended to be released as both a New World Edition and a Classic Edition, but obviously they were only going to do the Classic Edition release because it's cheaper, which I think sucks, because having a New World Edition for the Apex Ray Thunder card holder would have been absolutely cool, because I actually really like that one. But unfortunately, it's gonna be forever for us to actually see that. Can we even find anything about Apex Ray Thunder? Yeah, Apex Ray Thunder doesn't exist. Yeah, nothing about. Nothing about it. Obviously, all the wikis are outdated. Because they still refer to it as Super God form, but it's officially localized as Apex Ray Thunder. I mean, that's cool that that stuff is finally getting released, but like, oh my gosh. When are these things actually being a thing? Why aren't these a set? Everything else is a set. Alright. Typically with that stuff they'll put it as a set. Why? It's doing the same. They're doing the same thing they do with Arc. What the heck? Yeah, that's kind of dumb, but I kind of figured. think that's all. I can't do that because I'm streaming and I forgot. My volume was up. Whoops. Well, let's see if anyone is still here, because okay, so excuse me. I did have something in mind of like, oh, we can probably work on this. However, I think it will be bad timing for me to work on what's here right now because of contentions. Or like, I will say reasonable contentions. So yeah, I cuz I really wanted to put it out. I wanted to put it out this week because I had an interesting concept with this edit, because the one that's highlighted right now is what I originally wanted to work on, but then stupidity came to me and was like, I really don't want to make a version with this song, but like I think the only way I can justify it is literally just by doing both versions. So then the whole gimmick is that it's the same, not like literal, like it's not literally, but like it's the same edit of the same character, but set to two different songs. That's what I kind of justified, because like I don't know, because like the second song does work, but it's like I really don't want to keep continuing this trend because it's very tiring and such. So it's just like, all right, we will do both, just so then it, it just, so then I don't know. Because the issue too is like, well, then like what footage is gonna link up to it? Anyways. I think the other the other concepts obviously was more of like the idea was that I was supposed to so I think we would have done both of the so like obviously both of these videos would have been released at the same time in one like tweet. And then I mean also it's just literally because like we needed to actually put out more original edits rather than the remakes. Then speaking of the remakes, there's I think I have 3 of them prepared now and such, or mostly prepared. Because one of them I'm still struggling to try to get because unfortunately I deleted it. No, I don't think I don't think I deleted it. I think what happened, I think it's lost in my hard drive. So so I can't retrieve it. I've been trying to like get it receive that clip again, but it's just been a pain. I I genuinely don't get why they haven't changed it. What do you mean? All right. It's like both of them now. But so I guess I can kind of show you, but depends. Why is this one opened? Wait, did it really take place here? Oh, no. Yeah, I have this all wrong. So, I was like, this doesn't look right, but I forgot. This one is just kind of pasted here. So this is 2016. So the way these work for the most part, I would work on them through the original timelines they were a part of. Just for the sake of authenticity. Unless that's not hackable, just like 2015's, but oh, I remember what this one was. But as you can see from here, most of this is just media offline because we don't have the footage anymore. Technically, this technically should be normalized. You should not be keeping footage that you're not going to be using. I definitely have to go through a purge of just like, I'm not using things from this, so I need to get rid of it, which is why I'm showing you the timeline, or I'm trying to find the timeline for this one so then I can show it to you. But I think we've already missed it. I probably should bring that one back, but this is the one we just showed you. This is This is one that I don't know. This one technically doesn't count as a remake. We will count it though. um, this is Belroba Salty and Sweet. This is the remake one because we decided to actually add an ending to it because it did not have an ending initially. It kind of just ended. So, we added one, but there was also just more like visual. Like, admittedly, the 2023 and the 2024 ones kind of didn't deserve it, but it's like, we need to fill this up. We're on this. What are we doing? What is this? Yep, that's what I figured. Because I was like, I know what that's from. So this is my build sequence, but unfortunately, it's been wiped. No, this is my climax fighters sequence, and then it got wiped. That's not what we need. It's my Orb Trinity one. This is a random one I decided to do. That one probably shouldn't get revisited. But why do we keep clicking on that one? This is, see, I think realistically, this will be one I would have wanted to remake. But as you can see from here, all the audio is gone. I think this was before I lost the footage. So it was just like, oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, this is... I know what this one is. This one was... But again, just kind of like... Kind of like this one. I don't know what... This was before I lost the footage, but like, I ended up losing... The audio files... This layer just wiped itself. And I don't remember why that happened. Okay, I did go through that. I think the last time I looked through. Okay, yeah. I know what this sequence is. This is my attempt at a verse 2. This is... What? Oh. I remember this. I know. I should know what that one is. Yeah, then the rest of it is just... Where? Why can't I find this one? I don't know what that's supposed to be. Yeah, here. This is it. So originally, obviously, this is the original timeline for my Shishi Red Orion edit and such. So obviously, as you can see from here, there's just a lot of dips to... So this video, the whole purpose of this video was just an experimentation on dipping to white and just playing around with these like effects. So I had a cinnamon converter, which I don't know what that means, and a roughen edges. Excuse me. So as you can see here, that's why the border here is white initially. Because for me, I wanted to find a way to work with borders. But then with this version, we kind of dropped that because at this point I learned how to do mask. So we did use opacity, opacity, brightness, and contrast. But I managed to get a trap code, which is a third-party plugin for After Effects that actually happens to work with Premiere too. So I was like, oh, shoot, I'll try that out. But trying to figure out what exactly turns this off, or what turns off this glow, because I have to assume it's actually applied on the actual clip. Yeah, the actual clip has a mask on top of it. Okay, because this is like 2 layers, so we got a color matte and then an adjustment layer. So I just learned how to use mask. The clip arrangement is basically the same, but just with a bit more additions. And then here I opted out of doing dips to white because obviously it's just pretty distracting. I think it's better just to not have transitions, or if you're gonna have a transition, make it at least seamless. So like, as you can see from here, we have a film dissolve. Or we have film dissolves. But like, as you can see from here, the movements follow each other, so then they flow nicely. I had another effect. Yeah. So this is a cross dissolve, but I think this is here to replicate how it was done in the show, because I needed to cut this down. But see, okay, we did keep one dip to white, but I think that's the only one we kept just because it's like just for the sake of iconography to the original. But everything else here is mainly cuts. This was another cross dissolve, but again, I think in the case here, because obviously you're cross dissolving white to white, again, for the sake of shortening the scene. And this one, we didn't have it dip to white. We just had it end. And the biggest thing here, obviously, is that we need to cut the song down. But as you can see from here, we had to break it up to get the sound I wanted out of it. Because we needed that to, like, get to that point. And then this is definitely the biggest improvement, because this originally ended like this. As you can tell, this was just kind of sloppily, like, because here, this version was originally edited. You can't hear it again. So we'll play it over. So this is how this version plays. No, stop. This is how this version plays. So, like, that's not a bad cut. Obviously, that's not too bad. But, like, obviously, it's when you, like, start separating. It's when you hear it individually. Because, obviously, you want it to flow smoothly. Just so then you have that control. But obviously when these are broken up, they don't sound the greatest. So obviously when they come together. This was the biggest thing we needed to resolve. Because the way this was originally done was through this cut. But now, because I have the ability to break it up, we're able to change into this. To get it over with and such. Again, I kind of need to delete the footage of that. But yeah, I apologize that it looks pretty bad right now. So this is the one I kind of want to get out by this week. And then getting this one out next month, because I need to get 2 remakes out this month due to missing the deadline for last month, but that's literally just because I was busy with other things, or stalling to work on another thing. And like I did at least hit my goal of getting that remake done before that week's Go Juger, but at the cost of like, well, we kind of need to figure out what we want to do, or then we need to get one out by the end of the month. My issue with this one is just like I have to recalibrate things, but also I literally don't have footage for one of the clips because I can't find anywhere for me to actually obtain it. As I'm checking. Yep. Nothing's happening. So that's fun. I don't want to spoil what they're going to be because of that. But well, I mean, technically no one's here, so I can get away with it. But this one has been kind of done since 2021. I just never finished it.
Our worlds are in danger. To save them and the galaxy, we must.
Okay, what?
Our worlds are in danger. To save them and the galaxy, we must find the 4 cyber planet keys before the Decepticons can use them for evil. It is our mission. Hotshot, Jetfire, Vector Prime, Landmine, Scattershot, Optimus Prime, transform and roll out.
So yeah, this was originally intended to be the movie version, but we're gonna just release it as the remake. Because as you can see here, we still have content. We still have all this and such. For the footage that's supposed to make it look like, oh, you're watching this in a theater, but it's kind of annoying. So actually, I don't know, we might keep it because like I think it does look fine. Like there it actually looks fine, but yeah, obviously everything else needs to get touched on severely. And then this is the one for, like, that's why I'm like, I think I can probably throw out the Saber one quicker or more quickly because of it not really taking much time. The only issue is just that I don't have anywhere to find Kenzan's transformation scene. because the video that I originally used no longer exists because I think that got unlisted. And uh it just no we can try I'm gonna try to find it again. Review and project, because I have a new way of having to deal with this. And I made this sequence a while ago specifically for this project or for this rendition. But literally you can't find this video anymore. It got scrubbed. Unfortunately, no one really saved it. It's that, or they obviously region locked it. Yeah, they just privatized the video, but I mean, this Facebook account has it. But I don't know of what quality though. Yeah. I can't even like go on like Internet Archive because like I don't know what I'm supposed to be looking for. Why would the Internet Archive have this? See, because like honestly, it's like I don't need it subbed. Stop giving me subbed stuff. I just need to check OBS to make sure the audio is not actually carrying over. have to watch through this. Why do they make this so hard? To like try to find this stuff. No luck. My apologies. This is so stupid. Someone put the entirety of this on YouTube. No way. I have to go off of a YouTube video. Okay. I'll keep tabs. I'll keep a tab for that. Okay. Thank you, random YouTube video. really funny. Does this person clearly has not been hit with copyright yet. So I have to get with that. And luckily it's raw. So that's even better on my end. Obviously I'm not showing this because, you know, we can't trust people like you. Wow. This is kind of funny looking back at. Okay, it doesn't look like they have anything else that I need. But I'll probably get this video done probably by tonight. It's just kind of funny seeing this channel out here. Anyways, what's... I feel like we should probably at least get something done, though. Is this... This is not subbed. Alright then. The 12th? 13 days ago? How you getting away with this? This is funny. Thank you, Google. You were actually helpful. Anyways. We will probably have to... Well, obviously, I'm gonna have to, like, restructure a lot of things. I'm gonna resort it in the sense of like or I was even like obviously it will be like redone in the sense of it'll be redone. Oops, got rid of the wrong. Probably do an ease in. Well, it's not really easing though. It's not moving is the issue. Oh, right. This is overlaid. That's why they did that. Okay, then... Oh, wrong clip. What is this clip? Why is that there? Yeah, again, a lot of this is just... We have to just readjust it. Which... It's easy. Like, okay, so it seems like this one was already done. So we have to do that. Yeah, we have to See, obviously, we were able to kind of get away with it. Obviously by like 4x3, but here. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna change. I'm gonna remove the base. Because it doesn't make sense. We can redo the mask. I feel like we can do a better job of feathering. There. Yeah, so. Yeah, that noise is really bad, honestly. I don't think. Okay, for sure there was not supposed to be ×2 noise. Again, this was only like this because of... Oops. It's only like this because of... Where's the... So, okay. First of all... Okay, that's why we did that. Okay, so... Here we have to like zoom in. So it comes out like that. And that looks kind of weird. So we will just do that. And then just rescale that. We will cut this like that so it doesn't really stagger as long. What is this scene? Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why most of these don't really stagger. Only I think half of this has to get seated. I don't think we need that scene. Yeah, we don't need that. We don't need. Yeah, this looks kind of weird, honestly. So I'm like, I would rather just have it be. There. Then I have to get that off of one of my existing videos because that originally came from Build. Why does this feel off? Yeah, so as you can tell, Espada, I think, is the only one I actually did. Espada is the only one that was done. But I think I have a new method of how I'm going to do this. Because this way, just obviously here I'm using the crop tool. That's not. I'm using the crop tool here. So like with Buster, for example, I think he would have. Buster, for example, I think would work like. You have to expand on him a bit. So like that. And then do the same with his right. And then, for example, we'll go down here just to fix this up. But obviously, that's not enough because you need to tune it up so then it actually works. But I'm not gonna. Personally, am gonna. I think I did it frame by frame. But as you can see from there, it's not necessary. Okay, well, we messed up actually. Oh, he's supposed to go all the way there. Yeah, it's like something like that. Because I think Espada's kind of came out really messy. Because the way I was thinking about it is that we're just going to make these masks. Make them mask and then like just simply overlay it. But it also just doesn't help that these are cropped. Okay, let's see how that comes out. See, I feel like for Espada, it was because his placement was weird. Yeah, so the placements for I mean, because again, the show is not supposed to be in 1080p, so it becomes uneven as a result. Boy, yeah, of course this has to change. Okay, I think we messed up in terms of the cropping for. Yeah, I think we definitely did mess up. Because. Because who's. Okay, so it's this one that flashes in. Okay, so yeah, these are supposed to be cropped. Okay. So we just need to recrop the white squares then. Yeah, because as you can tell, like, these are clearly made for. Yeah, so I think I already had it optimized. I don't remember. Yeah, so basically it's just this sequence that needs to get severely retooled. Other than that, the others are kind of easy modifications. And I just need to change out scenes too from like the other ones. Because if that one's is sequence 32. Yeah, as you can see from here, I no longer have the footage, so that's gone. This one I don't have the video for. What is this one? I'm just wondering why there's 5. Yeah, there's 5 versions. Because this one I think would have been the one I would have redone. Because of the superhero psyche parts are really bad. Oh. I did use Zenkaiger. Okay. Because I was trying to like wipe footage off or wipe things off just because I need space. But honestly, I think they'll have to probably do with this stream. Because I think I kind of got I think it's kind of what I wanted to. Oops. What I wanted to go. What I kind of wanted to go over, but also I kind of need to screen record this footage before it gets taken down. So I'll just say this: make sure to watch Green's 10th anniversary special. I recommend it. Congratulations to Go See Green 1290 for reaching 10 years. Of course, that's a nice milestone to be able to reach.